Hey there, my name is Tracy Pache and I'm the French Second Language Coordinator for the Tri-County Regional Center for Education. Today we've made a short video to talk about intensive French. So what is intensive French? In Nova Scotia, intensive French is a second language teaching approach in which French is taught intensively for most of the day during half of the school year. So for example, it could either take place during the first 5 months of school or during the second 5 months. And in Tri-County, this is offered at the grade 6 level at Maple Grove Education Center. This program is designed for students who have little or no background in the French language. So don't think that you need to speak French in the home to be able to enter this program. This is designed for students who are just beginning their French language learning. It's also for students who have an interest in learning and are willing to take risks. Sometimes learning a new language is a little bit scary, so we need to be ready for that risk and also be up for that challenge. So what will intensive French look like? So the schedule is definitely a little bit different than another student who would be in a regular grade 6 classroom. So for one half of the year, everything is done in French except for math, phys ed, and music. So math is done every day. It's the same curriculum as other students in grade 6 are taking, and that's done in English every single day. And then the rest of the time, there's activities in French that are not specific to subject blocks. So for example, we don't have 30 minutes of science followed by 30 minutes of social studies. And then the other half of the year, the students do the regular grade 6 subjects in English, and then they go back to the regular Core French program where they would have Core French for 1 hour every other day. So the schedule of intensive French, 75% of instruction in French during one half of the school year, and then 10% of instruction in French during the other half. And then the remainder of the curriculum is compacted into that time. And research shows that the most efficient way to learn another language is to spend a concentrated amount of time with the language. So this intensive block definitely gives them that opportunity. So French instruction is activity-based. So students and the teacher speak only French. And this is a little bit scary for students when they hear this in the beginning. But, in the first couple of weeks, there is a bit of English, but then it very quickly switches to a French-only classroom. But this is done with a lot of pictures and actions and repetition. And the students are beginning to learn new structures and build on those structures. So the focus is on learning to communicate in French and not necessarily specific content learning. So like I said earlier, there's not a specific science class or social studies class. And during this time, it's real life projects that are chosen by themes. So a lot of the themes are the students themselves, their families, pastimes, animals, food, things like that. But each year those themes change because it's really based on the class's interest. So every year we have a different group of students. So that's why those activities and themes change throughout the approach. The intensive French program is designed to enable students to communicate effectively in French. So they're really developing their listening, their speaking, viewing, reading, and writing skills and strategies during this intensive block. And we follow the neuro-linguistic approach. So the neuro-linguistic approach was created by Joan Netton and Claude Germet. And these two researchers have done a lot of research throughout Nova Scotia, Newfoundland, across Canada, but also they've done this on a worldwide platform. So they haven't just done this approach in the French language, they've done it in any additional language that students are trying to learn. And the research is really well documented, and it's quite astonishing to see how much progress the students make. So it's a literacy-based approach. So as we've said, there's a lot of speaking, listening, and then you move into reading and writing. And so you're using French for authentic communication in the classroom, and you're building on those skills. So you start with a student's interest, learn some sentences that the students can say themselves, about themselves, and then you build on that. And it's a natural approach. So if you think about when your child was learning to speak at home, you spoke to them a lot, they were listening, you would read to them, they would begin speaking, they would then begin reading and writing. And we definitely know that the students go through many emotions when they start a new program, and especially for the grade 6s, as they're also starting a new school. So students come in and they're scared and they're nervous, and that's normal in the beginning. We expect that. And then they typically move into a stage where they get a bit frustrated because they're learning a new language. They want to be able to communicate with their teacher, but they just seem like they can't get the words out. Then it kind of clicks, often around October-ish, and the students, their emotions change. They become determined, and they're like, I've got this, I can do this. And then there's that ignition there, it clicks, and they're good to go. So our students, when they take the program, when we ask them about it afterwards, they say that intensive French is a way we can become bilingual faster. And they say that it's a new way to learn French that is fun and offers lots of things to do.
Hello there. My name is Vera Ryan, and I am the Core French lead teacher for the Tri-County Centre for Education. And I'm assuming if you're watching this video, you are trying to decide whether or not to enroll your child in the intensive French program. And I'm here to tell you a little bit about how wonderful this program truly is. First of all, I'd like to start off by saying that this program follows the exact same approach, the neurolinguistic approach, that your child would have been exposed to or using in grade 4 and grade 5 core French. So all the routines, the expectations, the way we learn how to speak, read, and write in French, all the activities we use are going to be very familiar to your child already. So that's a definite advantage. It's an excellent opportunity. Like I said, we use the same neurolinguistic approach. So we pick out, as a class, we'll pick out themes of interest, topics and units of interest. And from there, we will learn how to talk about these topics of interest. So we always start out with the oral. We learn how to speak about these topics. So I, as a teacher, will model a particular sentence, how to ask and answer a particular question, and to help with and aid with comprehension of what it is I'm saying, I'll use many, many photos, gestures, objects, anything to help with the comprehension. And from there, the students take the model I use and introduce and personalize and start speaking about the topic based on their own answer. So from there, we do lots of interactive activities to get the students speaking. A lot of times the students say, oh, we just did activities all day. It was so much fun. But these activities are so engaging, and they're teaching tools to get the students speaking in French. And that ability to speak in French is very important. I always say to the students, in order to speak French, you have to speak French. So taking those risks and being brave and taking those sentences and actually speaking is going to help them a lot with the success for the next step in this approach, which is reading. So the students will learn how to read what they already know how to say. So they're starting to make connections with what the sounds they're making with what it actually looks like in text. So they learn how to read what they know how to say. And then from there, the third step would be to write. They're now going to learn how to write what it is they already know how to read and what they already know how to say. And the writing, again, everything is always based on a model. The students as a group will, as a class, we will write a text together and we'll read it. We'll practice reading it. Again, it's all based on what we already know how to say. And from there, they personalize that text, and then they share it with a classmate or with the class. So it all comes full circle, that full literacy circle, which is speaking, reading, writing, and then speaking again. So again, it's very familiar. This approach is already familiar to your child. The classes are very engaging. They're very activity oriented. There's lots of fun. There's songs, there's games, there's brain breaks. It's a very rich environment for learning a second language. And the one thing you have to remember is the focus is on learning to use the language and not learning about the language. But and this opportunity for your child is very unique in the sense that it's the only program offered at this time by Tri-County at Maple Grove grade 6. So it's definitely a unique opportunity, and I would definitely recommend it. It's an excellent program. Thank you for listening. Bye.
If you are interested in registering your child for the grade 6 intensive French program at Maple Grove, please call Maple Grove School directly. Please note that registration closes February 1st.